So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. In today's video, we are going to be learning about 5 tactics that every chess player and chess beginner should know, because chess games are won on the basis of tactics only. So we'll be learning about 5 types of tactics. So let's get started. So our first tactic is the fork. So what is a fork? When one of your piece attacks two and more pieces of your enemy, then we call it a fork. Like in this position, just try to find out that how will you be able to win a queen. You are playing as white. Just think about it. So what you are going to play is you're going to play knight f6. Why? Because you can see a check is an absolute move, and on a check you need to react, but when you move your king, your queen is gone, like this. So this is how we can fork a queen and a king. Mostly the knights are really dangerous forking pieces, so you'll need to be really careful while playing against knights. Okay, what I'll be doing, I'll be giving you 3 types of position for every tactic: intermediate, beginner, and advanced. So we'll be going to our next position for this tactic. Okay, so now just try to find out the move and do write it in the comment section. Yeah, if you have found it, we need to win a rook and we are playing as white. So you can see your knight is sitting here and it is attacking many squares. But from which square can we win material? Which square can we win material? That is from the c7 square. As you can see, check is a forced move. A king is required to move on that move, and then we'll take the rook and we will be up 2 points in the game. So this is the intermediate tactic of the fourth. Now we'll be heading towards the advanced tactic. So always remember, when your level gets better, tactics are going to be appear in sequences. So in this position, just try to find the sequence. I'll just give you a little hint that there is a checkmate. Just try to find the move and write it in the comment section. So yeah, the move is amazing, knight f6. Now this is a check and we are also forking the rook. So when the king moves, now is the main part. 90% of the players will take the rook. But you know, we are also forking the checkmate also. You can see our knight is also forking this pawn. So we are going to take it with the queen. It is the final move. It is the forced move. He needs to take our queen. And then when we take with the rook, it is a checkmate because the king cannot escape. So this is how the forks will work. You need to be really careful while playing with your knights. If you have a knight, always try to look for the forks. Forks can also happen with another pieces. Yeah, so now we'll be heading towards our next tactic that we call as a pin. So what is a pin happens when a piece cannot move because a higher value piece is behind that piece. Always remember, there are 2 types of pins. One is absolute pin and one is relative pin. So we have an example of both the pins. So you can see in this position, white's knight cannot move because an important piece is behind that piece, and this is called an absolute pin. When there is a king behind the piece, it will be called as an absolute pin. And when, like in this position, you can see there is an important piece behind the bishop, so the bishop cannot move, but it is not forced. He can also move, and we can take the rook. So it is called as a relative pin. There are 2 types of pins. So this is a beginner pin example. So in this position, you are just going to take the knight and you will be up 3 points. You will be having one bishop more than your opponent. Now we are going to see intermediate position of a pin. So this is the intermediate position of the pin. Here black played the here white played the move knight b7. Just try to think, how can you trap a white's piece and just win it? by an absolute pin. Just comment it down if you found it. So in this position, what you are going to see is, you are going to see that where is the black, where is your opponent king, and if your any of the piece can pin their piece, like you can see, you can go with your rook to b8, and now the knight cannot move because a higher value piece is behind the knight, and when we can now take the knight because none of the pieces can defend the knight. So this is how a pin can also occur like this. If your opponent gets greedy sometimes, then you can also win material because of their greediness. Okay, then now another example. This is a pin of advanced level. Yeah, this is an interesting one. Try to find the move and do comment it down below. So now I am going to tell you the answer. We are playing as white and we are completely winning. The reason is black is thinking that we are going to exchange the queens and then he will be winning because he has a passed pawn. But what we are going to do is, we are going to play our knight to c5 like this, because you can see now the pawn is pinned because the higher value piece is behind the pawn, and the pawn cannot take the knight and the knight is forking. We just saw about the tactic of the fork. The knight is forking the king and the queen. So this is how we'll win the queen. And if he goes to this square, okay, if he goes to this square, then we are winning in one move. Comment it down below for sure. I think most of you will be able to find the move. Okay, now we'll be moving towards our next tactic, that is skewer. A skewer is just opposite of the pin. In a pin, a higher value piece is behind the piece, but in the skewer, it is in the front. So just try to calculate in this scenario that how would you be going to be able to win a rook. Just try to use your brain. Just try to see how my pieces are going to move, how I'm going to give a check to my opponent king. So okay, if you found the answer and if it is rook a6, then congratulations, it is the right move, because you can see the higher value piece is in front and there is a piece hanging just behind the higher value piece. So when the king moves, we can just simply take the rook. So this was the beginner position of the skewer. Now we are going to go on the intermediate position. So this is the intermediate position, white to play and win like on the spot kind of. Try to think of the move. How would you be playing your pieces? So okay, if you found bishop e7, then congratulations, it was a correct move. Why? Because you can see the rook, the higher value piece is in front, and there is a piece hanging just behind the higher value piece. So when the king moves, so obviously the king cannot go here. When the king moves, we are just going to take the rook for free and we will be winning in the game. Now we are going to look at the advanced tactic of the skewer. Yeah, this is an interesting one. This is a kind of a sequence. Just try to think and comment down below the answer. Just try to see how my pieces will be able to attack my enemy's pieces. Okay, if you had not found the answer, no worries, I'll tell you. You are going to play the move pawn b4. Why? Because when the bishop takes the pawn, like we are going to see this, if the bishop takes the pawn, then we are going to give a check on bishop. We are going to play our bishop to b5. Now you can see the king is in front and there is a piece hanging behind the king, and the king cannot go anywhere to defend that piece. So we'll take an example like this. He goes through this square and then we are just simply going to take the bishop and we'll be winning in the game. So this was our third tactic. We call it a skewer. Now our next tactic, we call it a discovered attack. So a discovered attack happens when one of your piece moves and opens an attack on the another piece. So how you are going to give a discovered attack in this position? So first I am going to tell you that you can see the rook. The rook is blocking the view of the queen, and there is a queen undefended just behind the rook. So when you are going to play this move, this is a forced move for the king to react, and when he is going to react like this, you can see that the queen is completely hanging, and we can just take the queen and can be winning in the game. So this is how this is what we call as discovered attack. When one of your piece moves and opens attack on another piece, then a discovered attack is applicable. Now we are going to look at intermediate position of discovered attack. Yeah, this is a position white to play and win. Try to find out, try to comment it down below. Yeah, if you found the move and the move is knight f6, then it is absolutely correct move. Why? Because if the queen takes the knight, because I think that is the final move he's going to do, he'll take the knight, then we'll simply take the rook, he'll take back, that is the final option. Then we are going to take back. Now he's going to go king g7, that is the final move. And now we pin his queen to the king like this. Like this is how we are going to be winning material in the game. He's going to take our bishop, and then we are going to take our with the rook, and you can see we are 2 points up and we'll be winning after winning these pawns. So this was the intermediate tactic of the discovered attack. Now we are going to see a advanced tactic of the discovered attack. Yeah, this is also an interesting one. Just try to find it and comment it down below. Black to play and win. Yeah, if you found the move and the move is queen h3, then it is the correct move. Why? Because when we go queen h3, first of all, he cannot block with the rook. If he blocks with the rook, then we are going to simply deliver the checkmate on this f1 square. So he goes to this square. Now in this position, try to find the move to win a queen. I'm not going to tell you. Please comment it down below. Now I'm going to introduce to our last tactic of the day, and the name of the tactic is a sacrifice. So what is a sacrifice? When you give up material in short term, when you give your pieces in short term to gain long term advantage in the game. So that's we call as a sacrifice. So this is the first position and the beginner position of sacrifice. I'm going to give you a hint. You are going to sacrifice something for a checkmate. Try to find it. Okay, if you found it, the move is queen d1. Why? Because if we go to queen d1, the king has absolutely no squares to go. So he's going to take with the rook. Then we are going to again exchange the rooks on the file, same file. Again, he has no option to take our rook like this. And we are again going to take the rook. Now you can see this is a famous pattern of chess. We call it a back rank mate. The king has no square to go and he is in check. So this is how we'll be able to find checkmates by these tactics which we are looking at. Now I'll be going to show you the intermediate position of this sacrifice. So yeah, try to find the move in this position, white to play and win. Just try to calculate where my pieces will try to move. Okay, if someone said queen h7, then it is not a correct move. Absolutely, the correct move is knight to f6. Yeah, knight to f6, because we are sacrificing something to gain something, to gain in this position. We are completely will be completely winning. If you know the reason, please do comment. If he takes with the bishop, then also it is a checkmate on the h7 square, because the queen is defended by the bishop. And in this position, if it takes with the pawn, then also the same thing. We are going to take the pawn, and then we'll be winning in the game. So okay, for last tactic for today, the advanced tactic for the sacrifice. Yeah, this is might be an interesting one, or might be an easy one for you. Try to think of the move, what move you will play in this position. Yeah, absolutely. If you found out rook e2, then absolute congratulations to you. You found out the correct move. Why? Because when we take his rook, obviously he is going to take our rook. He is going to exchange. Then we are not going to take it back. We want this piece for free. And you can see we can pin it. You just saw that we just learned about this tactic, and we are applying this. We'll pin the rook, and we'll add more pressure on the rook. And how are we able to got in this position? Because of the sacrifice tactic. So you will be able to win a rook. So in today's video, we learned about 5 tactics. These tactics usually decide chess games below 1500. Try to look at all your pieces. Just try to see on which squares they can go, on how they can make your position better. How can they get these tactics and win material? So yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you like the video, and do comment it down for the topics you want your videos for. So thank you so much.